to the 40 steps of Sadhana, Panchkam, 5 verses. Panchkam means, and every verse has 8 steps. So we will have a easy understanding of the first 5 steps. It is all about karma yoga. It is about, I can say, emotional quotient. We talk about EQ and IQ, and also the wisdom. Or we can just say that how to start the journey step by step. And the first step is, overall, not the first step, the journey is that we have to make our intellect subtle. So, how to make the intellect subtle? By purifying the mind, by understanding these principles. And the best thing to do, I have been requesting, but I don't know whether you are doing it or not, just 5 minutes of the Shanti mantra. Just pick up any Shanti mantra. So here we use the Shanti mantra Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karva Vahi Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Every day you wake up in the morning, check whether your mind wants you to say the Shanti mantra, and or you have anxiety to face, you have reaction to face. And after 5 minutes of contemplation and reflection, you just pick up any mantra, whether it's the Om Shanti, any mantra, even in English, I am peace, I am peace, I am peace. Why I say so? I am peace is an objective reality, but we are pushing that subjective reality that is present within through this mantra, I am peace or Om Shanti, any. And now you are doing it regularly, you will recognize how many times your mind reminds you to do this mantra. Now our goal is awaken. Peace, happiness, we have done enough. Even in, I got a couple of research papers published in 1999 when I was working in the research department. So in the research area, you have to collect the references. What is the previous research studies? There are 5,000 research papers in 1999 which says that meditation induces relaxation, it brings the parasympathetic dominance, it helps you to bring your pulse rate down. We are doing the same thing again. So, but here now we are just, our focus is, can we recognize and realize the real self? So we have to have a harmonious beginning. Harmonious beginning. And we take this harmonious beginning to a lifelong learning. The world will going to be remain the same. What means? The world is going to challenge you with a profit and loss, victory and defeat, pain and a pleasure. How come? One example, we are aging. So aging has its own problem. We are living in relationship. Relationship has its own challenges. Do you see that? Cold and hate, season changes. So, can I bring Mangalacharan or a harmonious beginning every day without fail? If you forget, remember this. Make a journal that how many times I forget it. It may take 5 months, 6 months, or a year, then you never forget. And I can bet you when you don't forget, you can see what happens. That makes your intellect subtle. Another importance of this mantra, Shanti mantra, that it helps my mind to live with a critical thinking. Well, I'm using the word critical thinking. Mind does not follow the critical thinking if you don't make the habit. Mind must move from the impulsive nature to the critical thinking. Means what? I should know the meaning, I should know the essence, and I should see how can I apply this wisdom in my daily life. You will think that I'm still laying down the introduction, obviously, because the greater the clarity, better it is. So, what happens? Impulsive mind versus the mind refined by the critical thinking leads to emotional quotient. How simple it is to understand. Hmm? Are you getting it? So that will help us to understand what is this spirituality. But once you do it regularly, then check it that whenever you have an opportunity, you apply it, not as a teacher, but just as if you are sharing the wisdom. I have been doing it and I find there is a change. So, other people should also. But what is very important, have you changed your behavior and attitude? Your behavior and attitude has changed, and now you are suggesting one to do it. It will work. It will work. Don't try to be a teacher. Well, you can talk to your honey also. Do you talk? Ah, very good. Huh? I know she is intelligent. So, so now you see Om Sahana Bhavatu, protection from the external challenges or difficulty. I gave you simply the simple meaning. The more you do the critical thinking, you will be able to reveal the essence in it. So, one essence is protection from the external challenges or difficulties. Another meaning, Om Sahana, let us we both be protected. But protected from what? Protected from the external impulsive nature that enters into my mind against you in favor of you. So let us protect our mind from there. It can only happen by the critical thinking. If we don't do it regularly, uh, even you don't do it on a single day, you can recognize the impulsive mind returns and it has a different, it creates a false notion. So it means I have to safeguard my journey and I have to grow inward. You might be thinking, I talk about I ask my friends to join, but they don't join. It is not because of me, it is because of your behavior and attitude. Because they know where you stand. You are a mom, you see, or something, I know you, mom, what you are talking of peace. How many times you have given peace to me, I know. Are you understanding? That is why the Mangalacharan is. That is Christian. See, So, Sahana Bhunaktu, seeking, finding the joy in the process of self discovery. That is another way to. So, I should find out the joy in the process of self discovery every day in the morning, every day without fail. What if I woke up at 2? Yes, do it and then sleep. So you will be able to understand whether your mind reminds you or it forgets. I will translate later. The seventh of the eightfold noble path, normally in Buddhism, is known as meditation. But the word that is used, it is known as the Samyak Smriti. Smriti means memory, Samyak means right, right memory. So that also means the self remembering. What is real self remembering? So that is how Mangalacharan lays a strong foundation. Just so Tejasvinavadhitamastu. When you start chanting the mantra mentally, you are critical thinking over the mantra. So you are already made your intellect aware and alert every day. So what is going to happen throughout the day? You will have emotional quotient. And it is important, we already know it. Ma vidvisha vahe. Any blame and complaint, duality and a conflict enters into your mind, even if person has done too much harm to you. Let me not have enemy, blame and complaint. Why? It is good for me. It is going to help my mind. It is going to have the emotional quotient intact. then I think critically. Then I think critically. Oh, this guy has cheated me. Very good. Yes. So let me keep a distance. Whatever is done, done. That is the importance of this Mangala Charan, my friends. Don't forget. So the 5 minutes 5 minutes of simply 5 minutes of Mangalacharan contemplation and reflection, days after days, weeks after weeks, you will recognize that every day you wake up and your mind just you sit on. In the morning, you do it while sitting. In the evening, before if you are sleeping, do it while lying down. Let you sleep with the Shanti mantra. Goal, intellect. We have to make our intellect very subtle. Why to make it subtle? So that I can recognize the real self. It is recognized by the subtlest of the intellect. And that is why we talk of the impurities of the mind. I have discussed in detail about these impurities of the mind. So understand. So now I told you that the first 5 steps are devoted to karma yoga. Karma yoga means that the way we think, speak, and act in the material world of relationship of people regarding the wealth, regarding our physical well-being, mental well-being, relationship, long list. It's a very, I would say, very subtle principle. I'll try to make it clear. The first 5 steps are all about living daily from inside to outside. But first, I should understand how to move inside. Mangalacharan. and the mantra, 5 minutes of the mantra, 5 minutes of Mangalacharan, 5 minutes of the mantra, and just you make it a habit and see what happens. Om Shanti. Is in Om Shanti. Consciously, do it consciously. It will not happen in the beginning, but gradually and progressively, your mind, your intellect will ask the mind to focus on Om Shanti. Intellect will say, what is the meaning? Om is the consciousness, Shanti is the peace. And then the intellect will check, mind, are you in peace? No. You are wandering, bring it back. That is the importance of a self-discipline and a regular practice. Can you think that it can happen in a day? It will not happen in a day. That is what the self-discipline is. So first we learn or teach the mind to go inside, Mangalacharan. Check what the mind is doing. Is it engaged in the same stuff of delusion? I explained to you 9 factors of the delusion. Impulsive nature, attachment, detachment, we discussed. I'm not repeating it. So now I understand that the mind is inside. From inside, my behavior and attitude expressed outside. You will be full of joy in every situation. Every situation. That is just through that awareness you come out openly and you start your journey of the day. So, what happens by this? Because your mind is now purified with the Shanti mantra, you are moving from inside to outside. You no longer remain the doer, enjoyer. Why? Existence takes over you. Mind starts the journey of awakening. So the goal that we will understand why I'm not the doer and the enjoyer. Why I'm not the doer and the enjoyer. Once we get rid of this doership, the false I dissolves. When the false I dissolves, what is left? Emotional quotient is left. It is already there in us. So the first 5 steps discusses about this. Take a simple example. Do you eat food? Yes, I eat food. I am the eater. Do you eat food when you are hungry? Yes, when I am hungry, then I eat food. Who causes the hunger? Who causes the hunger in you? Is it the mind says, I am hungry, let me go to the kitchen? No. Hunger is already there first. It is done by the nature. Hunger in plants, hunger in animals, hunger in each and every being. So if I say that I think I am hungry, then I go to the kitchen and eat, you are wrong. It means the plants also think. It means the ant also think that they are hungry. Mosquito also thinks, I am hungry. Now I will sit on your hand and suck the blood. I'm just giving you a reference, then we will go deeper. There's an urge to go to the restroom. Do you think that I have an urge to go to the restroom? Think other way. The tiger always eats flesh and the cows always eat grass. I'm just giving a very subtle understanding. Okay. So anyhow, make the cow and the tiger to live together. Is it possible for the tiger to change their habit, or is it possible to change the habit of a cow? Ask yourself. Can you change the habit of a mosquito? Answer is no. What about us? I live in the company of some person, I start changing my habit. Do you see that? Look at the understanding, the way our masters helps us to understand. Why, how it happens that I live in the company of you and I see that, here is a good habit or here's a bad habit, I'm influenced. No animal is influenced. Okay, grow the uh, pomegranate tree. Jerry has a pomegranate tree in her backyard, and grow the orange tree together. Do they change their habit? We change. Why? Intellect. Because of my intellect. Think. I am not saying that you should agree. How we are connected to the entire existence. You have taste bud, you like pasta, you eat it. Do you say, don't disturb me, let me digest the food? So falsely we take the ownership of the action. So once we get rid of it, ownership of the action, the false side dissolves. Just take an example. Am I speaking? Just go little. Intellect is subtle now, and I'm saying, my lips are moving, tongue is moving, throat and the larynx is working. It is all at the physical level is working. The knowledge is present in the mind. Am I the mind? Then I'm speaking. Am I the lips? Then I'm definitely a speaker. Am I the throat? Then I'm a speaker. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? So that subtle intellect can become aware where I'm a doer, where I'm an enjoyer. 5 or 10 minutes of eating pasta, say for example, you like pasta. Once it is swallowed, the role of the taste bud has gone. I no longer remain as a doer or the enjoyer, but I continue to live into that delusion of being a doer and the enjoyer. That causes anxiety, reaction, duality, conflict, problems in relationship. That is why we have to do. I'm just giving an understanding, overall understanding of that. Karma yoga. Yoga has about 60 different meanings. So when we use the word karma yoga, here the meaning of the yoga is my right and proper attitude in the mind. Where is right and proper attitude? I become aware I'm not the doer and the enjoyer. That attitude inside, right and proper action outside. What is right and proper action? What is my right and proper action at this moment? What should be my right and proper action? I should not waste even a single minute of yours. You all are seeker. Let me start guiding you. You are before your honey. So you adopt a role of a husband, right and proper action. You are a teacher. You adopt the role of a teacher. And once the role of a teacher is gone, don't continue the role of a teacher. Then you will create problem in your relationship also. Then you will remain a teacher all the time. So we will understand that karma yoga means the right and proper action coming from the right and proper attitude in the mind. So we will understand what is this right and proper attitude all the time. We have to perform action in our material world. The moment you wake up in the morning, you have to meet a lot of people. Keep that right attitude. This can only be done when the intellect is subtle. When the intellect is not subtle, our impulsive mind takes the responsibility. I am the doer. I am the enjoyer. I am the thinker. Can you understand? So when I am a thinker and I am an enjoyer and I am the doer, I create likes and dislikes, attachment and detachment, then projection, then I enter into a delusion. And that creates many impressions of ignorance and the suffering. That is why the master lays first five steps is all about the performance of the karma. So the first step it says focus, study daily. Simple phrase. I lay such a strong foundation. So when you listen to it, oh, study daily, yeah, I study daily. No. You study daily the principles of Eastern wisdom and apply it. And then you study yourself also in light of these principles. So there are two meanings. Study Eastern wisdom to gain knowledge, to allow the mind to follow it, and then study myself in the light of that knowledge of Eastern wisdom. That is the first step. That is the first step. So intellect recognizes, I'm giving you the ultimate then what happens if you continue, your intellect recognizes everything is being done by this nature. Hunger, only my mind recognizes the hunger and the thirst, but it is done by the prakriti, it is done by the nature. I have an urge to go to the restroom, done by the nature, and I claim the ownership of it. I'm giving you to. Can you force yourself to sleep? Done by the nature. Can you force yourself to wake up from the deep sleep? You are not conscious. You see, that is the beauty of it. If tamoguna is absent, that nature is also made up of the three gunas I told you. Whatever the nature, its movement is subjected, is regulated by these three gunas. We cannot see these three gunas, we can just understand their effect. So if the tamoguna is absent, can you be lazy, habitual and impulsive? Answer is big no. What did I say? If tamoguna is absent at that particular moment, you cannot be lazy, you cannot be habitual, you cannot be impulsive. And if rajoguna is absent, you cannot be reactive and agitated. You can control your reaction, you can shout, but under control. And if satoguna is present, right and proper attitude, right and good action, without claiming the doership. I'm just giving you a couple of the ideas of the 5 steps, and then we will. Sole aim of all our actions, Master says in Eastern wisdom, we say the sole aim of all our actions is to purify the mind. Uh, Sole aim is to purify the mind. So I keep the intention going to a restaurant, talking to you. When I am a doer inside, I keep that intention. It is just to purify my mind. And if you keep that sole intention, your thinker, your doer, your enjoyer will undergo a transformation. First 5 steps will take you to the higher state of the consciousness all the time, even without doing meditation. So the simple first step, study daily. So you understand, study to gain the knowledge and study yourself with reference to that knowledge. Second step, it says, I'm just repeating it so that second step, then we will understand. So the second step is perform diligently duties ordained by Eastern wisdom. I'm using some so-called the religious word. Ordained duty. What is my duty at this moment? I just fulfill the role of a teacher, a coach, a mentor. That's all. After the session, drop that role. The moment you are before the honey, play the role. Play your role. So play is not you are not making a joke and fun of anyone. You are separating that false I from you. So that is the second step. Perform diligently duties ordained by the Eastern wisdom. Third, dedicate all your actions and duties to the existence. Take an example. I'm a speaker. I'm teaching. Can I teach without the help of a nature? What is nature? There's body, breath, mind, intellect, and ego. I know that I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the breath, I'm not the mind, intellect, and ego. We are very clear about it. They are the part of the nature. So, what the master is saying, very subtle, but very interesting. You'll have a joy. That is why I said emotional quotient will always be there. So, dedicate all actions and duties as worship to the existence. Worship means recognition. I recognize because of my throat, tongue, and the whole body, supported by the mind and the intellect, is expressing this knowledge. Where is the doership? Where I am the doer? Tell me. So that is why we use the word worship. Means recognize that it is done by the nature. Recognition that we are not the doer. That is the third step. And then we will, in the next lesson, we will understand the fourth step. Why this happens, I become the doer. I suffer. 99% of the suffering is caused by the desire prompted activities. Honey, why don't you do this? You have not done this. You do it. Two things. Desire prompted action will comes from the doership inside. It will take you to delusion. So I should not have a desire to teach to get some money. Yes, that is 5%. 95% my role as a doer. Yes, it has to be there. You cannot ignore. Fifth one, what is going to happen? The religious word is added, but I will talk about it. So once you follow the first four steps, you will recognize that you are removing the sins from your life. Eastern wisdom doesn't say that you go to a religious place, find the priest, and confess your sin. No, you dissolve your sin by yourself. You dissolve your sins by yourself. We don't have any religious ritual or form. Let the multitude of the sins be uprooted. When you follow the first four steps, no sin can touch you if you remove the desire prompted actions. Desire prompted actions create the sins in your life. No, I talked to that guy, and he said yes, but I know he is not going to do it, and I requested him again and again, but he is not doing it. Who is suffering? I am suffering. Desire prompted action. Simple way. What is sin? We say unfavorable situation, condition, response from your relationship. It causes adversity, stress, and reaction. That is why we say, my mom is not so good, my dad is, or my friend, or my honey. I have to get rid of this. 99% of the job is done by the nature. Do you see me? Yes. Find out. Do you really see me? You, or your eyes through the mind sees me? Let me know. Your intellect becomes subtle. You understand. Oh, this is, yes, it is my eyes. Goes to the mind, processed by the mind, recognized by the intellect, and there is a I thought sitting there claiming the doership, and it says, I do it. You say that I see you, but internally you know it is not me. It is not me. And you will find a freedom inside. Very interesting. So let us close your eyes and we will do it the first five steps. It is an introduction and we will continue the journey. Eyes are closed. I'll pick up from where I finished today's talk. PPP. Not too much. Why? I'm not the doer. Intellect recognizes the nature. What is that nature? Oh, intellect recognizes eyes are closed. Gentle experience is there of closing. Yes, yes. Body has a position. Yes, I recognize that position. Very good. Place, position, and the posture. And the intellect recognizes that it is not I, it is the mind with the body can continue to help the body to stay. Did you get it? What we are doing, we are getting detached and then being comfortable. I'm not explaining you know it. Being carefree. The first stage is totally passive. We check if the mind is subtle. And then in with that subtle intellect means that I have a extraordinary awareness now. Okay, extraordinary awareness. Knower is inside me, and I am the knower of the entire world, the sixth neighbor. Or you can say the first neighbor outside. People, relationship, time, space, objects, things are already there. You are aware of the breath, I told you. Maintain the awareness of the flow of the breath. Why? So that you are able to separate the knower from the first neighbor, that is the world. Second neighbor is the body, physical body. Be very clear why I'm using the word neighbor, because how close the neighbor may be, neighbor is not me. They come down to your house, they spend the time until midnight, and after that they say, I'm leaving you. That is what happens in deep sleep. Body says bye bye, breath, and there's the third neighbor. Just you're aware of the breath with reference to it is this, we have to prove it. It is this neighbor which causes the hunger and thirst. Then the fourth neighbor is the mind. It is this neighbor which gives me an experience of pain and the pleasure. Fifth neighbor is the I thought, and it gives me an understanding of what I like and what I dislike, because I thought is also there. And the sixth neighbor is the ignorance. Beyond that, ignorance is the real self. So you see that now, did you understand that I told you intellect has to be made subtle? In that state, what is beyond the sixth neighbor? Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. So we take all the six neighbors together and we say beyond that, sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Beyond that, happiness is the essential nature. All the six neighbors means what? The word of the ant is different, elephant is different, tiger is different. Your word is different from my word because I have created the world through these six neighbors. That is the world of the suffering. But beyond that, happiness is our essential nature. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Peace is there. So my intellect makes it clear to the impulsive mind, peace is not there in any of these six neighbors. By repeat practice consciously, in any given situation, your intellect recognizes. Do you recognize the emotional quotient? Comes naturally. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Why I am complete? Because peace is within me, happiness is within me. I am not living with you with a desire prompted action. I don't have, don't pay me. So when I see that other people are paying me, oh, don't pay, just attend. And even then they leave it. Mind is somewhere else. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. If my impulsive, habitual mind did not create this world outside of likes and dislikes, of pain and pleasure, of desire prompted activities, don't you see that there is always an auspiciousness in my life? So that completes our first stage of the practice, looking deep inside the forehead, looking deep inside the forehead. Stage 2, dropping Om Shanti there in the space. So you are separating Om Shanti, you are dropping regularly at an interval onto that space. The body remain in the state of steadiness. And today we will be doing the belly breathing, long hissing breath, total expansion of the belly and total contraction of the belly. So what you do is you expand your belly like a balloon and you contract, you squeeze your belly. It takes time. It is not fast and rapid. It has nothing to do with the fire of breath or breath of fire, as I think you are familiar. No, it takes time. Long breath, expansion of the belly and contraction, squeezing of the belly is regulated by your breathing for 2 minutes. Today also we will be doing for 2 minutes only. Let us do. Let us see what happens. So we are creating a temporary state in the mind by the breathing, by the pratyahara, to have a deeper experience. Ultimately, that experience should come by the knowledge and the intellect. Continue, please. Continue. And stop this. Do nothing. Take your mind on the flow of the breath. On the flow of the breath and experience the changes inside the head, outside into the whole body, tingling, numbness, other sensations, vision, and colors also appears if we do it for a longer period. Again, looking inside the forehead, dropping Om Shanti, and start with the belly, breathing long in the hissing breath. So we are not putting the mind to a state of a reaction. That's why we are only repeating for 2 minutes, so that you can easily handle the impulsive mind. If there is a reaction, endure it and enter into the joy of doing it. I believe you understand from the previous sessions. If you are doing it regularly, I hope so. Remember, it's not quick and fast. You don't give a jerk to the body. It is all about squeezing the belly during exhalation. Takes time. Expansion of the belly, long in the hissing breath. We are not, it is the intellect who is trying to understand by the breathing withdrawal of the mind, chanting the mantra inside the forehead, what exactly happens, what experiences I get. So we will learn from our experiences, not from this dear guy. You're learning from yourself. And yes, stop, allow, just watch how the breath returns to its normal pattern. Pay attention to the flow of the breath and experience the changes. Why I have been saying it, so every time, every day you practice, you will experience that my experiences are changing. Who notices the intellect? Am I making the intellect subtle? Yes. Third round, looking deep inside the forehead, in the space, dropping Om Shanti or continue Om Shanti. Start breathing again into the belly. So you no jerk. It's a little longer breath with the hissing sound, expansion and contraction of the belly. Body remains still. Om Shanti continues. Don't forget sum of angles of a triangle. That's what we want to prove. Belief, pending, inquiry. I repeat it many a times. Sometime you put the address into the GPS, you reach the destination, and you don't see the house number. And you still inquire. Oh, yes, I got it. Here it is, at the corner. That is the journey we are undertaking. And now stop this, continue with the Om Shanti, keep the flow, awareness of the flow of the breath, awareness of the flow of the breath. Let us do one more round. You're already doing Om Shanti, body is steady, and start with the belly, breathing deep in the hissing breath. So we will know if the mind is objecting or the intellect is taking over the mind. And we are hardly doing only 2 minutes. Long in the hissing breath, except the belly. No other part of the body moves. Om Shanti continues. And you understand endurance. If the mind says, negates, rejects, reacts. So we are learning how to negate this reaction and and all the negative stuff of the mind when you are talking to someone, when you're living in the world. Is the mind waiting for me to say stop it? You see, that is also a reactive mind. Through the intellect, you become aware of these things step by step. It demands a commitment and a practice. And stop it. Awareness on the flow of the breath. Om Shanti continues. And experience, enrich your experience so that we can learn from our experiences every time you do it. Today you have done 4 rounds. Tomorrow, when you do it by yourself, you'll have other experience. Third day, it's other experience. Then intellect has to find out how come it is so. I'm doing the same practice. You see, you're making the intellect subtle, and just look at the 16 segments of the fingers. We'll jump onto that. Drop the Om Shanti there. Now leave this. Move the mind inside the cave of your heart. Visualize a triangle of any color. Move the mind on each side, dropping gently. Om Shanti. Discover the sync, harmony. The moment you discover the sync, pushing the mind deep inside. So Om is, who is saying Om? Mind. So that is how you push the mind. Deep inside the cave of your heart, mind seemingly stops. You just say Shanti and then do nothing. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your Buddha palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences, bring the hands down, we'll share our experiences. How are you, Brandy?
Thank you. I'm good. My meditation was deep. I have a question today. Do you have a recording of any of the mantras, just like 5 minutes in length, that we could access in the morning?
We will do it in the next session.
Okay.
In the very beginning, I don't have that recording, but because it is personalized for others, so we will,
Okay.
yeah, definitely we will do it. Very
I,
good.
I would like to. I would like to be able to access it, a recording of it, because I like it in Sanskrit. I can do it in English, but I need a little guidance with that.
Sure, we'll do that. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you, sir. Again, just thoroughly enjoyed the lesson today. Just allowed me to go into the meditation, and I was free and simple, no distractions, very, very deep space. So thank you.
Beautiful. Yes. When you understand that I'm not the doer and the enjoyer, so desire prompted mind is not there. So in that moment, the meditation becomes very easy. And that is what happened. Beautiful. How are you, Jerry?
Good, thank you. The mantras are always really helpful, and throughout the day, starting the day, finishing the day, and the seeds that plants, and the intention and the attitude that it gives really helps. And I appreciated the refresher as usual. And as we started the meditation, the mind was busy trying to apply or wanting to apply to the things to do. And then finally, when we started the breathing, the mind just settled down and went deep. But it took the mind a bit today to want to stop working.
It is really beautiful that you are reminding your mind the mantra during the day. When I remind, that impulsive mind is already gone, the intellect has taken over. And then then the doer and the enjoyer also drops. Then what happens? What is right and good? What is right, proper, and good action? We'll do it so easily. It's a great principle. Beautiful. Thank you. How are you, Christina?
Thank you. I like the naming of the doer and the enjoyer. And as the breathing practice has changed, I notice more distraction in the mind and losing track of if we're doing the act of breathing or if we're doing or not doing that. So I just noticed a lot of runaway thoughts.
And when you continue to do it, the mind returns to its. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that is how we have to enrich our experiences, how by each step how it helps the mind and how we gain the knowledge. It is all about learning from your experiences. Beautiful. Thank you, Christina. How are you, Dennis?
I'm good, thank you, and thank you for the lesson. And it occurred to me that the remembrance is probably one of the most important parts of what we are doing, and especially when you said that samyak smriti is translated as meditation, then I was thinking that actually what we do in meditation is we constantly remember who we are.
Yes.
And that is when meditation succeeds. And when we forget about it, then our consciousness goes elsewhere, our mind goes elsewhere, and then the meditation stops, and then we have to bring it back. So take help of this remembrance. So the remembrance part is of such importance. And my meditation was a lot of sensations in the body after the breathing, more distinct sensations in the fingers, and deeper absorption after the triangle.
Beautiful, beautiful experiences, and we'll continue. But what you said in the beginning is self-remembering. Now, see, in the beginning, we have to use the mantra and the different steps in the practices. We say, for example, you and me, Tanis, we don't need to verbalize to prove that I am a man. It's a non-verbal understanding. It's a non-verbal remembrance is there. It's always there. It's always there. So what happens in self-remembering, in the beginning we are doing all those practices, then the time comes, it is there, even it's non-verbal. Where is that non-verbal? It is the state of the consciousness. It is the highest consciousness. It is the real self. That is what happens. Just giving you a rough understanding. Very good. How are you, Eva?
Thank you, sir. The mind was calm, that was peaceful. There's a couple of times that there was a jerk in the body, but otherwise it was peaceful.
Yes, I may have to tell you that once we go with the intensive breathing like this, we may have a jerk in the body, we may have unusual sensation in the vision, so we just tolerate that, we endure that, and it's normal. It's normal in this journey. We are going to be intensive. How are you, Terry?
I thought the lesson was it was so full, like there was many points
Yes.
made. And the breathing was a little better today.
Very good.
But
Yes, definitely. So if you do the practice, regularly, breathing is definitely is going to be better, and that will definitely help. Your voice and your speech is perfectly normal today. I could see that.
wondering why we say dropping the mantra. Is it because it's not because it's silent?
Here is the intellect, and you are dropping the mantra.
Okay.
Because your intellect is dictated by the mind at this point, and it says I'm crazy or I'm good. So it is constantly engaged on the impressions in the intellect. We have millions of impressions. So we are not fighting with it. We say just drop. Shanti. Because if I say force it, it will not.
Well, do you try to visual? It's hard to visualize a silent sound.
That is too possible. Every individual has a different formative capacity of the mind. One, your mind can have a vision clearly. Other can have a beautiful experience. The third, there are different capacities of the mind. Everyone has a different.
Okay.
So you can use any. We are trying to bring the mind to a state of purification. That is one thing we want to do.
Okay.
That is all. Thank you. We'll meet again.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.